Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas visiting with Whitney Prather. She is from Absolute Home Health and Hospice. Where are you located, Whitney?
We're actually located in North Canton, Ohio. That's really where our headquarters is. However, we service a lot of different counties.
Tell us where, because I'm sure listeners are saying, oh, I hope they service our county.
Yeah, we really do. So these are the counties that we service. We service Stark, Summit, Tuscarawas, Washington, Wayne, Portage, Noble. I'm going to need a break here. No, I'm just joking. Medina, Lorain, Lake, Geauga, Cuyahoga, and Belmont.
So you really do start from south and work your way north.
Yes.
My goodness.
Yes.
You're much larger than I realized. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
We said you have opportunities to volunteer. Not everyone is cut out to work with those at the end of their life, but what kind of volunteer opportunities do you offer?
Yeah, I'm so glad that you said that, because we're looking for people who feel really called to people who are going through this delicate time. And our team they say this all the time, they really feel called. So we definitely want to make sure that the volunteers that we bring on feel that same type of pull, that same type of dedication. So we have patient volunteers. Patient volunteers work with patients and their families directly to provide companionship, and they really just enhance their quality of life. We also have pet visit volunteers.
Oh, what a great idea. Oh, my, yes.
Oh, this is a popular one. So if you actually have to have a credentialed pet a therapy animal, and the people who are on the benefiting side are just so excited to see the pets coming in. I mean, it just warms their hearts. I mean,
you really see a difference physically take place in them, do you not?
Yeah, I mean, like, you're really breaking them out of their norm day to day, and for them to see a pet coming in, it's usually a dog or a cat. It's amazing.
And some kind of good chemical reaction happens when they're petting the pet.
Yes.
Don't those pets know that they are special?
Oh, my gosh.
It's fun to watch.
It is. It is. And then we also have music volunteers. If anyone is out there who definitely has a gift and wants to share their gift of music, they really can transform the atmosphere with beautiful sounds. So we really, really love pet visit volunteers and music volunteers. And then the last one is just crafting volunteers.
Neat.
And this is really for anyone to participate in. We've worked with churches, we worked with schools who send their crafts to our patients, and it could just be like a lap blanket, it could be a fidget blanket, just anything, a dignity bag, like.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So they do crafts with the people that are being served, or they do crafts that are taken to them, like create a prayer shawl or something like that?
Yeah, a couple
Both?
of different ways. They could actually do both. So what happens is, if a volunteer wanted to come on and do a craft, they would work with our volunteer and really find out what patient they would be assigned to. And if that patient could do a craft, they could definitely facilitate it. However, we've worked with people who are going to craft in groups, like prayer, like women of purpose do their own little crafts, and then they send us their blankets.
Nice.
So, yes.
I bet somebody's listening and they're saying, well, I would love to do this, and I would love to be a companion with someone during this stage of their life, but I don't feel qualified to do that. Do you have training involved for people who would be really working with patients?
We do, and actually we train our volunteers pretty intensively because this is such a crucial time in a patient's life. So they go through the training almost as if they were an employee. There's a couple of steps that they don't have to do. They need to be TB tested. There's certain things that they definitely have to do. And if volunteers are interested, prospective volunteers are interested, I just encourage you to go to abshealth.com. Under the hospice tab, there is a volunteer section where you can learn more and apply. We need you guys.
Okay. All right. You're talking about something very difficult, though. I'm sure maybe you could tell us about your staff, because these are people who on a daily basis are saying goodbye to people that they've become very close to. How do they begin to do that? Tell us about them.
You know what? I ask them that question a lot when I interview them. And actually, we just came off of STNA week. And I actually met with an STNA who just shared with me some of her thoughts about the type of care that she provides. And it's difficult, Susie. It's something that they deal with day in and day out, but they feel an overwhelming sense of pride when they care for their patients. They feel called to do this, and they feel like it's a privilege for them. And a number of our team members have told me that. So for them, it comes more natural than for, you or I.
Yes.
So they deal with it. And a hospice nurse and a person who works on our hospice team, a social worker, they see things that we don't want to see. They're not like other nurses. They may make people feel better or well, and we're certainly making people feel better, and we're definitely giving them peace and dignity. But it is just a calling. It is simply a calling that they have, and it's difficult, but it's also something that they feel so privileged to do. This is the most crucial part of a person's life, and they're a part of it, and they're making them feel so much more comfortable, and they're giving them a measure of peace.
It's very much like witnessing a birth, I think. When you witness someone passing from this life into eternity, you realize how very thin that veil is. Do they, and sometimes something happens, the person passing says something that is so comforting to those that they are leaving behind. Do you have any stories of those kinds of things where they almost get a glimpse into eternity?
Well, I personally don't have those, but I know our team definitely has. They have those stories. I did speak with a social worker who did share a similar story about how, she was there, she was bedside, and there was just that peace that came over the person, and she could visibly see it.
Wow.
And she just, she got a little goosebumpy and felt that, but
yeah, it's an amazing moment in a person's life when you realize, oh, things are really just getting started.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's the hope. That's the hope for believers, for sure.
You mentioned, let's talk about this a little more. You mentioned that you work to provide for the spiritual needs of the patient as well. In what ways do you do that?
Well, we definitely have chaplain workers. All of our chaplains are actually non-denominational, and they really provide spiritual support to meet the needs of the patients and their family. So what that basically looks like is if a patient is in need of prayer or visits from our chaplain workers, they'll actually, they make sure that they see the patients. And when a passing happens, they're there to comfort the family.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so good to know. We're speaking with Whitney Prather. She is from Absolute Home Health and Hospice.
Yes.
And she is been there how long?
I've been there for probably about a year and a half.
Have you already?
Yes.
Wow.
It's good.
What drew you, because I know your background a little bit, what drew you to this kind of work next?
You know what? I just really... I was familiar with the organization before I started. They were actually my client when I worked for an advertising agency, and I got along so well with my now boss, and I ended up getting laid off, to be honest. And I ended up getting laid off, but it was so amazing because I got to spend that time with my little girl, and she was, I think, 8 months at the time.
Oh, what a gift, actually.
Yeah, and it was just around the Christmas holiday, and it was actually, it was truly a gift, Susie.
Yeah.
And when I learned about this opening, actually my boss reached out to me via text, and When I learned about it, I said, of course I'll help you. It's a new position, director of communications. So I was like, yes, I will.
So perfect for it.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you.
Something you mentioned before we went on, you mentioned a word. I'm not familiar with it, so I'm here to learn. Tell me about palliative care.
Yes. Thank you for asking about that. Palliative care is actually a part of hospice, but it's also can be separate. Palliative care is also known as comfort care, and it's just relief from symptoms, pain, and stress brought on by serious illness. It's really designed to promote dignity and improve the quality of life. However, there's a lot of confusion because it's similar to hospice. It's a part of hospice, but it can be a standalone of hospice. So a patient, and this is why it's different, a patient can continue to receive curative treatments while they're receiving palliative care. And with hospice, you're not receiving curative treatments. You know that the prognosis is 6 months or less. But with palliative care, you can still move forward with chemos, radiations, dialysis, surgery. And then also, in order to receive palliative care, patients don't need a physician to certify that they are actually terminally ill. You can begin palliative care. You don't have to have a life expectancy.
So with palliative care, you're still working on getting better.
Yes.
With the hope of getting better.
Yes.
Boy, I know so many people who have been given a life expectancy and they still operate with that hope of getting better.
Yes.
Because anything can happen at any time.
Anything can happen. I think that you really have to believe that. And Susie, everybody's experience is different, but I really believe that, a positive mind really beats out a life expectancy.
I've seen it, Whitney. I know someone who was given 9 months to live and lived 3.5 years.
Wow.
They had some life goals, completed all those,
wow.
And then kind of thought, okay, I think I'm done now. And it was the most amazing.
That's awesome.
Yes, where doctors could not explain.
Confounded. They were like, why is this happening?
In fact, she asked, why am I getting this kind of a reaction out of the medication? And the doctor said these words, I don't know. We've never had anyone live this long. So I don't think that's what she wanted to hear. but still, just completely blew everybody's mind with the positive attitude, the strong faith. We see that, don't we?
Yeah.
Those kinds of things, a positive attitude and strong faith.
There's something to be said about a mind made up. I mean, when your mind's made up about health and having that hope, I mean, certainly, I just think it affects the physical, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, it does. I think it's biblical.
It is.
When you think, Mary Hart works good like medicine.
Yes.
You see that.
Yes.
Daily, don't you?
Absolutely.
Well, Whitney, you need to please give us ways to reach you. It's Absolute Home Health and Hospice. They take care of all of it. The medical part with home health, the non-medical part as far as like just a visiting friend to take care of basic needs, shopping and errands and things like that, and then hospice care when you've hit that point as well. How do people reach you, Whitney, or get a hold of the organization?
Yeah, if they want to call us, they can. They can reach us at 330-498-8075.
Can you get that one more time, please?
Yes, I can. It's 498-8075. Or they can reach us online simply by visiting www.abshealth.com.
Whitney Prather, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Susie.
Thanks for bringing...
You are a complete joy.
Thank
you.
You are a complete joy. And thank you so much for what you bring to our community.
Thank you.